welcome to the Ill Noise Business Playbook. I have here Mark Bidinger, Mark Bidinger Agency. Mark, how you doing today, man?
I am fantastic. I appreciate you guys taking the time and having me on the broadcast.
You got it. And Mark, it's I usually see out there in the field at different businesses, so it's nice to see you virtually as well.
Nice to see you.
You got it, Mark. Before we get started on your business and stuff, I have the opportunity to be connected with you on a personal level on your Facebook as well. And when I've talked to you out there, we've certainly talked a lot about some baseball and some football and some other stuff, but you seem to be a pretty darn big fan of soccer. Can you talk to us a little bit about why that is, where you got the passion from, and the team that you root for?
Sure, I've had the great pleasure through my corporate America career to spend quite a bit of time in Europe, specifically outside the Milan area. It's where I got introduced to Inter Milan, who is my personal favorite, as they would say, football team. And so they're having a nice run this year. I believe they're tied in the Series A table. As of yesterday, I was Mother's Day, so I didn't catch the game, and they are in the final of the Champions League in Munich on May 31st. So I am negotiating with the lovely bride. I'm probably going to lose that negotiation because I've got Ohio State tickets out in Washington this fall, but we'll see what happens.
That is awesome. That is so cool. That is so cool. Well, good luck to your team. I would love to tell you I'm a big fan, but I'm not. But I am a big fan of sports in general. So, and I'm a big fan of you, Mark. So good luck to your team.
Appreciate it. Likewise.
So tell us, obviously, I know what you do and I know how passionate you are about it, but tell us about your business and tell us what inspired you to do what you're doing.
Yeah, so I had in my corporate America experience, I had the great pleasure of starting out in operations and moving over to sales and marketing and being a business unit GM for several different organizations. The one thing that I really didn't get to delve deep into was risk management, but what I learned as a GM is how important risk management is. And when it was time for me to step away from traveling 48 weeks out of the year, I wanted to help small businesses and families deal with risk management. And so I opened this agency, and I'm here to help people.
You certainly are. And I see that all the time. So as a local businessman, what challenges do you deal with? And what are some ways that you've been able to overcome some of those challenges?
So I think there's a couple challenges. One is, people, the risk is people don't like to talk about their house burning down or death or any of those sort of things, or serious car accidents. And so what I try to do to overcome that is be an educator and really educate people on what risk management is all about and make sure that people are properly covered. They're not over covered. They're not under covered. Look, at the end of the day, everybody's got a budget. So the question is, can we afford to cover you with today? I think is A. I think B, the other thing that we try to overcome is it really is a good industry, and the agents I know are very dedicated to their customers and doing the right thing. Unfortunately, there's probably 5% of the people out there that are not that. And I think the industry could do a better job of really putting those people out of business so there's not the reputation that there is about insurance out in the marketplace. But we overcome that with education is how we handle it.
Now, as I've already mentioned, I've certainly seen you out in the field, different ribbon cuttings, different networking, different happy hours. Those are always the funnest ones that I've seen you out there. But what other strategies have you put in place to grow your customer base? Obviously you want to find your customers, you want to keep your customers, you want to grow your customers. What sort of strategies are you putting in place in order to do those sort of things?
Yeah, so really we try to meet people exactly where they are. I mean, the ideal customer for us is a small business person that also has home, auto, maybe some toys, all that kind of stuff. A lot of times it'll start off with, hey, I just need a liability policy. I'm starting a company. I've had several painters that, hey, they don't own a home yet. They're just starting out, or maybe a general contractor. They just need that policy. And as their business grows, all of a sudden they buy a house and then they buy some cars, both for commercial and for personal. And so we try to grow with people. I've had it work the other way where somebody needed home and auto, and then they've had enough of corporate America and they're ready to start their own business. And then we, sort of ease them into the commercial insurance side, as well as, I have people that are just graduating from college. I just took care of somebody last Friday that first car, first apartment. And we know at some point they're very likely to get married, have kids, buy a house, get a second car, have teenage drivers, maybe get a boat, maybe get an ATV. So it's really about helping people through the life journey and wherever they are in the life journey.
And I assume you're pretty heavy with referral generation, right? Like obviously you want to
Yeah,
help want me to find someone to help that you can help out as well, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different ways that you can advertise, you can buy leads. There's all kinds of things you can do in the industry. I tend to, and you should do a little bit of everything, but I tend to focus on the local marketing, in particular, things like the Chamber of Commerce and networking groups and things that are local. I do some local advertising in a magazine called Lake in the Hills Living. So we try to keep it really local and stay, within McHenry County for sure, some in DuPage County, Kane County, Lake County. We do a little bit in Cook County, but we try to, generally speaking, help out people in our area where we've got a significant knowledge base.
Mark, how long have you been in the industry for?
That'll be 3 years.
3 years. So you've seen some things in the last 3 years, and in order to be successful, it's all about being proactive, not reactive in this world, right? So, what are some trends that you see maybe changing in the future, and how are you planning on adapting to those future trends?
Yeah, so kind of it's been a whirlwind over the last 3 years. When I first started 3 years ago, that year was very much a growth oriented year for the industry. And then, as many people are aware, we had some big fires in California. We had flooding in California. We had some hurricanes in Florida, as well as we had a number of tornadoes in the Midwest. We actually had 3 tornadoes hit that year that were downstate Illinois that were very large damage things. So the entire industry really took a step back and there was not a lot of new business. So we did not invest on the new business side. We really focused on helping existing customers, particularly people that were experiencing budget crunches with the rate increases. And now the industry is back into growth mode. And so we're looking at hiring again and growing the agency. So it's really what it comes down to is having the right scope for what's going on at the time. It's interesting to me, coming from international business and the kind of cutthroat competition. Guys that have been in this industry for 30 years say, "Oh my God, this is, the worst thing that we've seen in 30 years." And I just kind of looked at it as like, yeah, this is what you go through.
Mark, does AI play a part in your business at all?
Yeah, there's a lot of automation, particularly on the CRM side. And also, we use probably the AI more on the marketing side, but there's a tremendous amount of automation on the CRM side, just making sure people get followed up on who have requested a quote and making sure that policies get followed up on. Payments, if a payment gets missed, what have you, there's all kinds of triggers to make sure that all those things happen the way they should happen when there's exceptions. And then the marketing side, I do a lot of my marketing development through Chat GPT. Other people do other things. But if I were to sit down and try to come up with all the marketing slogans myself and all the, bullet points and all that, it would take me forever. Whereas, I can put the prompts into Chat GPT and it comes up with better stuff than I can come up with. So it's really a combination of all those different things. Probably the next logical step would be some kind of overseas or virtual AI type of reception situation, so that when you're not in the office, when you're meeting with somebody like yourself on a commercial policy, the phone's getting answered. You may not get all the questions you need to answer, but at least the phone's being picked up.
Mark, again, I know you. I know you enough to know you're a pretty positive person. Probably part of why I like you so much. Talk to us. Tell us a moment of success or a moment of success or two that you've had in the industry that's really kind of kept you going.
Yeah, this goes back almost 3 years now. The fourth customer that I ever bound a policy with. Big reason I picked Farmers is the way that they treat customers when there is an issue. This particular gentleman happened to be out of town for the weekend. He had a faulty electrical box in his home. Sunday during the day, his house burnt completely to the ground. He was home Sunday night, called into Farmers. They had him a hotel room that night. They were out at his property at 6:30 a.m. the next morning to get things rocking and rolling. And that's what you want to hear and what you want to see from the company that you represent. So you have a high degree of faith and confidence in what you're selling and what you're representing. And I found that Farmers to be just fantastic on the claim side, and I'm very glad that that's the company I picked, because that's was one of the key factors for me. Is I want to be able to do my job and do it to the best of my ability. I don't want to feel like I have to jump in. There are people who are experts in claims and know exactly how to do that and what's legal and all that good stuff. And I want to be able to count on them, and I can count on them. to do what they need to be when the unfortunate happens.
Again, Mark, I don't want to put you on the spot too much, but I have a feeling you got another story for me too.
Um, yeah, it's, I mean, you never know what weird other things are going to happen. I've seen all kinds of weird things fly into cars. I've had customers that they're just driving down the road and somehow they hit an air pocket and the glass in their sunroof shatters and falls into the car. And it's, you just never know. Farmers used to have this slogan, "We covered it," and they do. So it's, I'll just say it's never a dull moment. I'll leave it at that.
It sounds like. What is if you want, are you just dealing with small businesses, or are you dealing with individuals? Like, what does your customer base look like, Mark?
Yeah, it's that small business owner, homeowner sort of combo that I focus on. I do have a few larger policies of industrial warehouses down in Elgin and things like that, and those typically grow out of somebody that had a small office building and a home policy, and then as their business grew, hey, we're going to buy this 100,000 square foot warehouse in Elgin. Can you help us out? So that's typically how those things evolve. Hey, we need to buy a truck for the business now, or hey, one of my kids wants an ATV. It's usually a very natural progression. So yeah, we focus on new business, but we also want to make sure we take care of the existing people. We don't want to, we don't want anybody to walk away. We want to have that 20-year relationship with somebody.
I can tell too. Are you still doing those monthly presentations with your so-called team? I know I was out there and I was enjoying learning about the entire house buying process. I was also, to be frank, also enjoying the pizza that was provided and the drinks. But the conversations was so good. Is are things like that? Are those commonplace for you? Do you do those with any sort of monthly cadence?
Yeah, there's not necessarily a cadence to it. There are certain times a year, but we definitely look for all kinds of unique marketing opportunities and ways to show expertise. I tend to gravitate towards other, real estate agents, legal professionals, home inspectors, mortgage people, who want to be educators as well and are experts in their field. We all sort of have a team that we work together with. I definitely send things their way and they send things my way, and that's kind of how we all grow together.
That's awesome, Mark. Mark, what's the best way that people can reach out to you? What's the best way for them to, if they want to talk to you and find out ways in which, in fact, I'm coming to see you tomorrow, by the way. But what's the best way for people to get you?
So if you just Google the Mark Bidinger Agency, it'll pop right up. You can call straight from Google if you want. You can go to Facebook and search Mark Bidinger Agency will come up. Those are probably the two best ways. The number is 224-241-8411. Or you can send us a direct message either from Google or Facebook. And if we can help you out, we will.
Awesome, Mark. Listen, man, I really appreciate your time that you've given us here on the show, and hope you have yourself a great day, Mark. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I appreciate your time. And yeah, have a great day.
Take care, Mark.